Sorted. Okay. As promised, here is the recording for the Earth Element yoga practice that I tried to do the other day, but Wi-Fi prevented me from doing it properly. So I promised I'd redo this for you today. So looking at today, the Earth Element, we've already covered the water element, the air and the fire, and today we're looking at earth. And the earth element has its own special vibration, as do all the individual elements. And the earth element is associated with us feeling stable, supported, grounded, of course, that famous word, but also strong. The earth element is connected to our root chakra, which is located at the base of the spine in our pelvis. And when the earth element is strong within individuals, people tend to feel, they tend to feel quite stable, quite secure. They display characteristics of being responsible, reliable. They have a strong sense of self and strong convictions. Those are people whose earth element is very balanced. And those people whose earth element is a little unbalanced could well feel anxious, insecure, maybe even difficult to make decisions. So this earth practice today is going to help cultivate those earth elements within us. And we are going to particularly look at cultivating elements of strength, structure, and stability. So that's what we're going to be focusing on in each of our postures today. And this is a slower practice than we would normally do. Normally we'd do like a vinyasa flow, we'd move from one posture to the next. But this practice today, we're going to be slowing it down a little bit and holding the postures for a little bit longer, which is going to allow us to really focus on our alignment and feel the structure, the skeletal structure of our body holding us into place. And of course, then the muscles as well, hugging in towards the bones to hold the skeletal frame up. So we're going to slow it down a little bit today. There's going to be a lot more standing postures because obviously our feet and our legs are our roots into the earth. So we want to try and sort of charge those up so the rest of the body feels strong, stable and structured. I think that's all I wanted to perhaps describe today with the earth element. I think as always, it's best to feel it. So if you're ready, just come down to the back end of your mat and we're going to start in child's pose. Completely up to you whether or not you want to have knees apart, big toes together, or maybe you just want to do a traditional balasana child's pose with the knees together. But we're going to sit back on the heels and then we're going to reach the arms forward and rest your forehead down on the ground or even onto a yoga block if you need to bring the ground up to you. Just bring the forehead down to the ground. Let your elbows and your forearms just come down to the earth as well. And just take a few moments here just to allow the spine just to mold over your thighs, for your belly, your chest just to sink towards the earth. Find a little softness in this pose. And maybe your head starts to get a little closer to the earth if it wasn't quite there to begin with. And then just really bring your awareness, your attention into your palms. Spread your fingers. Feel the solidity of the earth, the ground beneath you. Feel your forearms sinking down into your mat. Your shins, your feet. And just reconnect with the element of earth beneath us. Now, even if you're practicing today up in your bedroom or you're a couple of floors above the actual earth, you are still surrounded by the earth elements because our buildings are built with materials that came from the earth. So concrete and bricks come from the earth, of course. The wooden structure, wood, comes from the earth, and of course glass in our windows, that originally started in the earth as well. So even if you are a floor or two set above the earth, you are surrounded by earth elements.
So feel the support of the earth beneath you as you just take another 2 or 3 slow, deep breaths in and out here.
And whilst you're just taking those breaths, I'm just going to turn the music up a little bit because I think perhaps it's a little too quiet and I would like you to have a little bit of atmosphere. Okay. Yes, that started. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so from your child's pose, we're just going to take both arms over towards the left and bring your belly and chest onto your left thigh, and then let your head just drop between or towards your arms. Now make sure your right hip is sinking back onto the right foot. You can creep your right fingers just a little further along the floor if you like, just to open out through the right side, just that little bit more. And then breathe into the right side of your body. Breathe into that space you've just created. Just take another couple of breaths in and out here. Just giving our bodies that little bit of extra time just to open up into these little areas that we don't often get to open. And then very slow, you'll make your way over to the right hand side. So belly and chest on your right thigh. Walk the hands all the way over to the right. So keeping the hips nice and square on the heels. Let's see if you can creep the left fingers a little further along the mat if you like. Just opening up along the left side of the body and then directing your in-breaths into the left lung, the left rib cage. And as you inflate into the left lung, just notice that little extra stretch and space that you create along the left side of your body, just using your breath. One more deep breath. Lovely. And then bring your hands back to center. So everything is in one straight line again. And then as you inhale, come up onto your hands and your knees. And move the hands underneath the shoulders. Move the knees underneath the hips. Spread the fingers nice and wide. And just start with a few rounds of cat-cow just to make sure the spine is nice and loose. So when you're ready, drop the belly, lift the gaze, and take that inhalation in your cow pose as the shoulder blades slide down your back. And then exhale, round and tuck everything under, chin to chest, tailbone between your thighs, pressing into your hands. And then drop the belly, lift the gaze as you inhale. Deep breath in. Exhale, round, tuck everything under, nice and slowly. Suck your belly up into your lower back and lift your heart into your upper back. Drop the belly, inhale. Exhale. Oh, just moving nice and slow so you can just really feel this beautiful stretch along the spine. Just one more of each. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze, opening up along the front axes of the spine now. And then last time, exhale, rounding, tucking everything under, pushing into the hands. Beautiful. Come back into a flat back. And make sure the tummy is lifting up into your spine. And we're going to extend the left leg straight back behind you and turn your left toes down towards the floor, particularly the little toe. We want to keep these hips square, and you also want to feel as if your tummy is still lifting up towards the spine. Now you can stay here with both hands on the floor, or if you wanted just a little bit more of a challenge, reach the right arm forwards. Now the key here is we're aiming for length rather than height. We've got to keep that lower back flat. We've got to keep the tummy lifting up in towards the spine. And you're going to relax the shoulders and the neck. You're going to hold here for a few breaths. So notice the structure of your body. Notice the structure of your spine, the structure of your arm and your legs. Just holding these limbs in place. One more slow breath.
And then keep the left leg where it is, but lower the right hand down on the floor and come up onto your left fingertips. And then roll the left hip on top of the right. And you might want to tuck the right toes under here just for a little bit of extra balance. But we want to have the left knee and left toes pointing out to the side. Now you can keep the left hand on the floor or lift it up towards the sky. Going to hold here for a few breaths. So really kick through the left heel, tummy draws in. Really starts to activate the gluteus medius in the outside of our glutes here. It's not a part of the glute muscles that we tend to work that much. It tends to be the glute max, which is the big muscle, the back of our, the back of the glutes. One more slow deep breath. Beautiful, well done. Lower the left hand down to the ground. Keep that left leg up in the air, but just square the left hip. So now the hip faces down to the floor again. Tuck the right toe under, and then lift the right knee up as you come up into a three-legged downward dog. So that left leg is lifted. Fingers spread nice and wide. Tummy drawing towards the spine as always. And then bend the left knee so the foot drops towards the heel. So the heel drops, towards the tailbone. And lift your left knee up nice and high. Now we're going to draw one big circle with this left knee. So draw the knee forward. Lift it up out to the side. Circle it back. And then step your left foot all the way forward between the hands. And if it got a little stuck halfway up the mat, just give it a little helping hand so it comes forward. And then lower the right knee down on the earth. Let your hips just sink forward. Take a deep breath in and out. Oh, this is such a lovely posture. It's such a good counter stretch for all the sitting that we do. And then gently glide back. Take the hips back, straighten the front leg, lift the front toes up. Nice deep stretch for the hamstring. Inhale, sliding forwards. Exhale back. One more time, coming forward as you inhale. Exhale as you slide it back. Lift the toes. Lovely. Come forward again, lower the front foot to the floor. Now you can just still have the hips just pushing forward slightly here to keep the right hip open. Now you can keep the hands on the floor if you wish, if this is enough of a stretch for you. Or you might want to bring the hands up into that left thigh and just stack the hands. And then you can press or push the thigh flesh towards that left knee. So it really does start to open the right hip even more. Now you can hold here 5 slow deep breaths, so shoulders away from the ears. Tummy gently drawing back into the spine so we don't overarch the lower back. Just developing those qualities in you of feeling stable, reliable and loyal. These are the earth qualities that us humans have. Stable, reliable, loyal. Lovely. Now bring the hands down to the ground, either side of that front foot. Tuck the back toe under if you haven't already, and step back up into downward facing dog. Feet to hip width, hands to shoulder width, and fingers spread beautiful and wide. You can soften your knees a little here if it's a little more comfortable on the back of your legs. But we're going to hold our down dog for a few breaths here. So we have some time here to really focus on your alignment. So really push the floor away from you with those hands and then lift the hips up and back so you get the longest line you can through your spine. Gently wrap the shoulder blades towards the underarms to keep the upper back nice and flat and broad. So tummy drawing back up to the spine. Feeling again that beautiful solid support of the earth beneath you. Giving you that beautiful, stable, structural energy that we get from the earth. Just taking another couple of slow, deep breaths, or feel free to come down to your knees if you prefer, just to take it easy. And then after your next out breath, work forward into a plank pose, the shoulders stacking over the hands. Of course, engage your core, lift your thigh muscles up into the back of your hamstrings, and just try and stack your heels over your toes. When you do that, when you bring the heels over the toes, you just feel that the core and the body is firing up a little bit more, working a little harder. But this is where, again, we can focus on our stability, our inner strength that we all have. Just holding here just for another couple of breaths. Again, you are very welcome to lower your knees if you prefer to do kneeling plank. Lovely. After your next breath out, slowly lower the knees to the earth. Drop the belly, lift the gaze. Come and find your cow pose again. And then as you exhale, round and tuck everything under for cat pose. Inhale, finding cow. Exhale to cat. Inhale, cow. Last time for your cat pose. Okay. Finding your flat back once again, with the hands under shoulders, knees under hips, fingers nice and wide. Again, just navel to spine. And this time we're going to extend the right leg out behind you. Have all 5 toes pointing down, making sure that your hips are square, your lower tummy is engaged. You can keep both hands on the floor if you wish, or extend the left arm out for a little bit more of a challenge. Just make sure the neck is in line with the spine. Shoulders are relaxed, neck is soft. Focusing on your ujjayi breath, that ebb and flow of the breath as you press through that back heel to keep that leg alive, ignited. Just a couple more breaths. Tapping into your inner strength. Lovely. Keep the leg where it is, but lower the left hand down to the ground and come up onto your right fingertips. And then roll the right hip on top of the left. So now your right toes and your right knee point out to the side. And you can tuck your left toes under if you like a little kickstand, a little bit of extra support. Again, you can keep the right hand on the floor or begin to lift it up towards the sky. And lift that right leg up just a little bit higher so you start to feel the gluteus medius begin to kick in. Tummy is engaged. Slow, deep breathing. Two more breaths. Finding that strength within you. I know you have it. Now keep that leg where it is, but lower the right hand down to the ground. And then square your right hip so it faces the ground again. Left toes tuck under. Lift the left knee up. Come and find your 3-legged down dog. And then bend the right knee so the foot drops towards the tailbone. And lift the right knee up. So we're trying to stack the right hip on top of the left again. And then we're going to draw one big circle with that right knee. So draw the knee towards the chest, lift it up out to the side, drawing it back. And then step that foot all the way forward between the hands and gently lower the back knee down to the earth as you bring the hips forward and take a deep breath in. Exhale, glide the hips back, lift the front toes up. Inhale, coming forwards. Exhale, back. Beautiful deep stretches for our lower body. Inhale, coming forwards. So our lower body are our roots that connect to the earth. Exhale, gliding back. Lovely. Come forward again and just hold it here. Again, you can just bring the hips slightly forward once more so you feel the opening. You can keep the hands on the floor if you wish, or bring the hands up onto the thighs you did before, just stacking the hands and gently pushing the flesh towards the right knee. Or if you want to, interlock the fingers, press the palms away from you and lift the arms up by the ears. But if you do this, make sure your rib cage is drawing back in towards you and not popping forwards. Hold here for 5 slow breaths. Keep pushing down through the front foot, keeping that connection with the earth's vibration. Feel that steadiness in you, just like the earth but don't feel heavy. You know, even the earth has a vibration. It isn't solid, completely solid. It does vibrate. One more slow, deep breath. And then place both hands down either side of the front foot. Tuck the back toe under if you haven't already, and step back into downward facing dog. Feet are hip width, hands are shoulder width, palms nice and wide, fingers nice and wide. And you've got equal weight distributed across the width of both palms. Take one more slow, deep breath. And then come forward into your plank pose again. You can do kneeling plank if you wish. But this time, instead of plank, we're going to do a side plank, Vasisthasana. You can drop both heels over towards the right and lift the left arm up towards the sky. Now, if you wanted to modify this, just lower the right knee down to the floor for a little modified side plank. The left arm up to the sky. Make sure the hips aren't sinking down to the floor, so just pump the hips up a little bit. To feel that beautiful long line of structure you have along your body from your heels, all the way through your legs, your spine, your neck, and out through your head. And then this beautiful structure from across the chest out into both arms. One more breath. You're doing so well. Well done. Left hand down. Let's do side plank on the other side. So swing both heels over to the left. Lift the right arm up. Again, you can modify this by lowering the left knee down to the floor. Breathing nice and deep. Slow your breathing down. When the breath is nice and slow, the heart rate slows down. When the heart's rate is nice and slow, then our body stays relaxed. One more breath. Beautiful. Well done, everybody. Right hand down to the floor. Come into your regular plank, so balancing on the balls of both feet. And then we're going to lower the knees to the earth at last and find your cow pose again. So inhaling as you look up, exhale, round and tuck under. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze. Exhale. One more time, inhale and exhale. Great stuff. Tuck your toes under, lift your knees up, find your downward facing dog. Let's just move nice and slowly here. There's no rush, just thinking about each of our movements and our body alignment. We're going to step the feet to the hands. You can step or walk, but bring the feet up to the top of the mat. With your hands, finding Uttanasana, folding forward bend. So you can bend your knees a lot here if you wish, but just drape the body down along the legs. Let go of your head. Oh, that feels so nice. Let your neck just have no weight at all. Have a little bit of weight over onto the balls of your feet. Just so you're not rocking completely on your heels. Have a little bit of weight over the balls of the feet, but make sure your body weight is equally distributed along the length of both feet. Our feet are our roots, aren't they? Just taking another couple of breaths as we just allow gravity, just to allow the spine to stretch down towards the floor. Sending some oxygenated blood right now into our face, our eyes, our hair, bringing all that fresh nutrients into our upper body. One more slow, deep breath. Now we're going to come up really slowly, okay? We're going to walk the hands up the legs, so just supporting the back as we make our way up, super slow. Just take your time, walk the hands up, giving the back a little bit of support. That was quite a deep forward fold to hold for that long. And just come and find mountain pose. I'm going to turn and face you. Now normally mountain pose, my head is being cut off. That's not the important part, is it? Let me just move my mat a little bit. Sorry about that, my head has disappeared. Hopefully you can still understand what I'm saying.
Now, normally mountain pose, we tend to sort of rush through mountain pose. We sort of come into this and then we move straight into another posture. But actually today, because we are focusing on the earth element, we're really going to embody everything about a mountain. So really thinking about that strength of a mountain. So let's just start with, you can either have the feet hip width apart or feet together, whatever you feel comfortable with. And then just start by rocking forward over onto your toes. And then rock back onto your heels. Rock over to the left and to the right. And then come and find the absolute perfect dead center between those four corners that you've just sort of discovered, if you like, you've just reacquainted yourself with. So find that perfect balance. And we want to have the shoulders stacked over the hips over the knees and the ankles. And then starting again with the feet, just spread the toes nice and wide, or spread your feet. Think about just think about broadening your feet. But don't grip the mat with your toes. The toes should just be straight out with no sort of gripping with the toe joints. And then gently lift up your inner arches. And notice when you lift up the inner arches that your shins just tended to ignite as well. The shins just kind of came alive a little bit when you lifted your arches. Now, without locking your knees, think about squeezing your thigh muscles towards your thigh bone. You just feel the glutes at the back, the quads at the front of your legs, just gently squeezing towards the bone. And actually, so I meant to say the hamstrings at the back of the legs, not the glutes. The glutes are in your bottom. So you squeeze the hamstrings and your quadriceps towards the thigh bone. So you're really making sure you've got a very strong, stable base here. You've spread your toes, you've lifted your arches, your shins have come alive, your upper legs are also now engaged. You're having creating this lovely, strong, stable structure for the rest of the body. And then from there, lengthen up gently through the spine. So the rib cage and diaphragm is just lifting up away from the abdominal organs. We keep that natural curve in the lumbar spine, so don't flatten that out, but do make sure your pelvis here is in neutral. So we haven't tilted the hip bones forward and had a little sort of overarch at the back. We're going to make sure that the pelvis is in neutral and the tailbone is just dropping down towards your heels. The pelvis neutral, lift up through the waist, through the lower body, lift up through the lower belly, the lower back, rib cage and diaphragm floating up. And then just very gently spread out across your collarbones. And you can just have your palms either facing inwards towards your legs or facing forward. Again, it's completely your choice, whatever feels most comfortable for you. Come and find your most stable mountain pose as you root the feet down and lift up through the crown of the head, connecting to the earth, but also to the sky above us. And again, just embody those qualities of the earth element. So feel strong, stable, safe. Take one more slow, deep breath. Beautiful. Inhale, lift both arms up overhead. Let your right hand find the left wrist and keep that length through the body. As you exhale to your right, I might go opposite way to you, but just gently exhale to your right. And you can always lower the right hand down onto the leg if you need a little bit of extra support for your back. Inhale, come back up to center, release the hands, and then left hand hold to the right wrist, lengthen up through the spine, and exhale to your left. Just this lovely little side bend, little crescent moon. It's so good for our body. Inhale, come back up. Release the hands. So the hands are now shoulder width apart. I just want to turn, stay where you are, but I'm just going to turn to face the top of my mat again, because this is called tall mountain, Hasta Dhanasana, with the arms and hands above us. This is Hasta are our hands, and Dhanasana is mountain. So hands above mountain, Hasta Dhanasana. Taking a deep breath in. As you exhale, coming into chair pose, Uttanasana, so the hips shoot back, so sitting down in this imaginary chair. You still want to make sure you can see your toes, so have a little glance down and then lift the head back up once you know you can see your toes. Lift the tummy up towards your lower back, and the lower back here is flat, so again you're not dipping into the lower back, so the lower back is flat. Holding here for 5 slow deep breaths, so plug the arms into your shoulder sockets, relax the neck and shoulders, focusing on your breath. Back of neck relaxed. So this might be a slow practice today, but it is still very strong. One more deep breath. Well done, everyone. Fold deep into Uttanasana, deep forward fold. That feels nice, doesn't it? And then come up into chair pose again. Inhale to your chair, and then push through the feet, standing in Tadasana with the hands and arms beside you, mountain pose. We're going to do that twice more. So inhale, lift the arms, chair pose, Uttanasana, shoot the hips back. Tummy is alive, shoulders relaxed. Find a little drishti for your gaze just to rest upon. Just another slow deep breath. Well done, well done. And then exhale, folding forward, Uttanasana. Relax the back of those legs. Inhale, find your chair pose. And then exhale, press into the feet, lower the hands, Tadasana, mountain pose. Take a couple little resting breaths here, just recenter. And then one more time when you're ready, find Uttanasana, shoot those hips back. Tummy lifting, shoulders relaxed, back of neck is relaxed. So this is where you really need to tap into your earth element, your strength, your inner resolve, your strong convictions. One more breath. Folding deep, Uttanasana. And then finding chair as you inhale. Mountain as you exhale. Well done. Fired up those legs a little bit, didn't we? Inhale, lift the arms up for Astadharasana, tall mountain. Soften those knees. Exhale, fold into Uttanasana, deep forward folds. Ah, that's nice. Okay, let's step your left leg back and rest on the ball of the left foot. Coming into a runner's lunge. Now again, a couple of options. You can keep your hands on the floor here as you focus on lengthening through the spine. So you kick the heel back, you draw the tummy up towards your spine, and you just reach out through the crown of the head. You're going to hold there. So you can keep the hands on the floor, or for a little bit more of a challenge, just lift the fingertips up the floor and just let the fingers float above the ground. So 5 breaths here, everyone. Slide the shoulder blades down your back. Feel the strength of your legs, your feet firmly planting into the earth. And that strength of the legs is being sent up into your upper body. One more slow, deep breath. And then bring the hands down to the ground and walk both hands around to the long left side of your mat as you spin on the feet. So all 10 toes face the left side, and we come and find our wide-legged forward fold. Prasarita Padottanasana. So walk the hands back a little, so they come maybe just on the inside line of the feet. You can soften the knees here as much as you need to, and then just fold, lower the head towards the ground. Let your neck just release again. Just have a little bit of weight over the balls of the feet once more. Beautiful deep stretch for the inner thighs, the back of our legs. Place a little bit of space around our sacrum. One more breath. And then walk the hands forwards and straighten the arms so the hands are underneath the shoulders. And then bring the right palm flat on the floor
or even onto a block, or even onto your fingertips, but I personally think it's more comfortable if you can have the palm flat on the floor or onto your block. So that's the right hand is underneath your face. And then inhale, lift the left arm up towards the sky. Now focus here on lengthening through the spine so the tailbone reaches back, the crown of the head reaches forwards. Soften those knees if you need to. And we're trying to rotate from the base of your rib cage, your thoracic spine. It's T13 if you know your vertebrae. This is the lowest vertebrae of your thoracic spine, just before it connects to the lumbar spine. Just taking another slow, deep breath, this beautiful deep twist. And then gently lower the left hand down to the ground and walk both hands towards the top of the mat, spinning on the feet so you find your runner's lunge once again. Scoop the belly up to your spine and step the back foot forward, fold over your legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, come up halfway, so hands on the floor, shins. Just lift the belly and chest away from the legs. Exhale, fold down. One more like that. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale down. Beautiful, well done. Step your right leg back this time, end of the mat. Bring the hands just alongside the foot. And again, you can keep the fingers on the floor, or you can let the hands hover above the fingers, hover above the ground. But everybody, shoot the back heel away from you, slide the shoulder blades down your back, engage the tummy, breathing slow and deep. Keep going. I know your body wants to give up, but your mind is stronger. One more breath. Beautiful. Lower the hands down and walk the hands around to the right hand side of the mat as you spin on your feet and come and find your wide forward fold on this side. So folding down nice and deep, walk the hands back between the legs. Have a little bit of weight on the balls of the feet. Beautiful deep stretch. You can just feel all of your tissues on the inside of you just having a beautiful deep stretch. It may be you haven't been able to stretch your body this deeply for a few days, so it's a lovely way just to remove the stagnation. Okay, straighten your arms, lift the head and shoulders, and now walk the hands forward a little more and bring the left hand underneath the face. I need to move back a little bit here. Bring the left hand underneath your face or onto a block. Coming into your rotating your twist now, so right arm lifts up. Again, remember to try and rotate from the base of your rib cage, that T13, thoracic 13 vertebrae. Left shoulder blade slides down your back. And just send a little bit of energy up through that top arm and fingers. One more breath. Beautiful, well done. Lower the right hand down and walk both hands towards the front foot, the left foot, as you spin on both feet. Coming into your low runner's lunge again. Scoop the belly up, step the back foot forward, and come and find Uttanasana, folding forward bend. From here, coming up to standing. So either walk your hands up your legs as you did earlier, or slowly roll up by pushing through the feet, drawing the tummy to the spine, and super slowly coming to find Tadasana, mountain pose, once again. Okay. If you're nowhere near the top of the mat, you might like to just perhaps find your place again towards the top end. Come and find your perfect mountain pose, balancing your weight equally over both feet. Your shoulders, your hips, your knees and ankles are in one line. Feet are spread, inner arches gently lifting. And then allow your spine just to lift and lengthen out of the pelvis.
Okay, bring your hands onto your hips and step your left leg back, big stride back. We're going to find warrior one now. So that means that the back heel is down on the floor in towards the midline of the mat, and the back toes are pointing out to like 10 or 11 o'clock on a clock face. And then we want to make sure the hips are squared forward towards the front of your mat. And bend into that front knee, and when you bend into that front knee, you might instantly find that that back foot starts to feel as if it's lifting. So I'd like you to press down through the outer edge of that back foot, so both legs are really active and supporting your body here. So pressing down actively through the outer edge of your back foot, hips are square. Tummy in, inhale, arms up by the ears for warrior one, Virabhadrasana 1. Now you can lunge as deeply as you wish, it really is up to you, but please keep the lower tummy just drawing back to the spine, shoulders relaxed. 5 slow deep breaths. If you need to come out and just straighten that front leg and then go back in, please do. Keep the tummy engaged. 1 more breath. Now keep the legs as they are, find your cactus arms. So bring the shoulder blades towards one another, tummy still drawing towards the lower back. Beautiful opening for the chest, the heart. Take 1 more slow, deep breath. Beautiful, well done everybody. Straighten that front leg as you lift the arms up. Coming into warrior 2, Virabhadrasana Dos. So taking the left arm back, right arm forwards, bend the right knee again. Now you want to just flip the back toes. So now the back toes point to the left side of the mat, and just heel toe the right foot across the mat a little bit, because we would like to have the right heel lining up with the instep of the left foot. Once you've got your feet in place, lunging into your warrior 2, again, shoulders stacked over the hips. So try not and don't allow the shoulders to come forward over that thigh. Try and bring the shoulders above the hips. And because we're going to hold here for a few breaths, yes we are, I'd like you to engage the pelvic floor. So lift up through the pelvic floor, or mula bandha. It's just this little hammock of muscle that we have underneath our torso. And we just want to engage the pelvic floor now, just to hold us here nice and steady in warrior 2. Breathing nice and deep, tummy gently engaged. Just another couple of breaths. Well done, well done. So this is a slow practice, but it is still quite strong. 1 more breath in and out. I know you can do it. So tap into that deep, strong conviction that you have your earth element. And then straighten your front leg. Oh, Trikonasana, triangle pose. So the legs stay as they are, but reach the right arm forward. So now the ribs do shift over that right leg. And lower the hand down either onto your shin, onto a block if you'd like to, or if your practice is normally bringing the hand to the floor, then please do. But one thing I want to just check is that your left hip doesn't start to roll, sorry, your left shoulder, doesn't start to roll down to the floor. So you really want to make sure that left shoulder is drawing back. And in fact, imagine you're doing this against the wall and your upper back and the back of your head is touching a wall. And then if you want to, lift the left arm up to the sky. And you can either look up to that hand or out to the side, whatever is most comfortable for your neck. And another little thing I just want you to check is that your head hasn't dropped like this. See how my neck has suddenly bent? Try and keep the neck in line with the spine. So pushing through the feet, lengthening through the spine, get as much space as you can. Another couple of slow, deep breaths. Trikonasana, triangle pose, all these various triangle shapes we make with our body in this posture. It's a really good one actually to help strengthen the lower back muscles as well. Alrighty, 1 more breath in and out. Well done everyone. Bring the left hand onto the left hip. We're making our way into half moon, Ardha Trikonasana. So we're going to bend the right knee deeply and bring the hand onto the floor just on the outside of that right foot. And then just hop
the left foot up just a little bit, just shorten your stance. And then take the right hand even further forward in front of that right foot, or you can bring it up onto a block if you need to bring the floor up to you. Now we're going to hop up onto that one. I need to step back. I'm going to bang the wall, sorry. We're going to hop up onto your right leg and let that left leg just float up. Now left toes and left knee are pointing out to the side. Flex the left toes back towards you and really kick through the left heel. And then if you want to, lift the left arm up towards the sky. Again, you imagine you're doing this against the wall and your upper body and the back of your head are touching this wall. Find and feel your alignment in this posture. The structure of your body is so strong. Your muscles, your bones, moving us around every day, supporting our whole body, but they are super strong. One more breath. Well done, everyone. We're going to come into standing splits. So left hand down to the ground, maybe just sort of underneath the left shoulder, and then square your hips up. So now the left hip faces the ground, and then lift that left leg up as high as you can. And you can walk the hands back a little bit along the mat if you want to, but you don't have to. Spread through the left toes, nice and wide. Lovely, lovely. And then lower the left foot down alongside the right. Find that little forward fold just for a moment. But then come up to mountain pose. Inhale, coming up to mountain by rooting down, rising up. Bring the arms down alongside you, stand super tall. And then shift the weight over onto your right leg and lift the left knee up in front of you. Find that balance. You can hold onto the left knee if you like, or even hold onto the wall or the chair, whatever you have near to you. But really root down through your standing legs to spread the right foot, the toes, and then really stand tall on that standing leg. So lift up out of the right leg. Flex the left toes up towards you. And then we're going to reach the left arm back. You can reach the right arm forward as well if you like for a little Shiva's dancer's pose. That's what this makes me feel and think of whenever I do this or see this posture. So I think of that Shiva deity, that Hindu deity. Shiva always has a little leg lifted up and her arms lifted. One more slow breath. Well done, everyone. Now bring the left arm forward again. And then step that right leg back and lower it to the floor. Ooh. We are going to do revolved triangle. So let's bring the hands onto the hips first of all. Now the back toes again are pointing out to 10 o'clock. Your hips are square to the top of the mat. Take a deep breath in as you push through the feet and lengthen up. Soften your front knee just a little bit now because they're going to fold forward over that front leg. Ooh. Feel that deep stretch in the back of the hamstring, huh? Lower the left hand down onto the floor or a block once again. And the left hand is going to be just on the inside of your left foot. Or if you're a little bit more advanced, or your practice a little bit more advanced, take your left hand to the outside edge of your right foot. Again, a block can be used here if you wish. Now your right hip, gently draw the right hip back. So we're sort of squaring the hips up and we're feeling as if we can lengthen out of the spine. Press down through both feet, particularly that back foot. And then start to roll the right shoulder on top of the left as you turn and look out to the right. Ground through your feet. And then if you wish, lift the right hand up towards the sky. Lengthen through the spine. This is a tricky pose, so if you fall out, don't worry, just smile and come back up into it again. Breathe nice and deep. One more breath. Well done, everyone. Bring the right hand down and bring both hands either side of the mat now. And then we're going to step the back foot forward, finding Uttanasana. Fold nice and deep. Give the head a little shake. Ooh, we're going to try that on the other side. So rooting down as you rise up into mountain pose. Tummy is always engaged as you rise back up. Starting with our warrior one first of all. So hands on the hips, step the right leg back. So back toes this time are pointing towards 2 o'clock and the heel is down on the floor. So even if you need to bring your legs, feet a little closer together, do so because you want to try and get that back heel on the floor. And the heel is in towards the center of the mat. Instead, the right back toes are pointing out to the side or to a 2 o'clock. Square your hips up. Now, if you feel any twisting on that back knee, which sometimes you might do, just make sure those back toes are pointing to 1 or 2 o'clock on the clock face, all right? Okay, hips are square, lunging into that front leg. And if you feel as if that back foot has started to lift or feel lighter, press down the outside edge of that back foot. And then inhale, arms up by your ears for warrior one, as we drop the arms back into the shoulders, so there's no tension in the shoulders or the neck. Tummy drawing in towards the spine. So embody your earth elements once again. This structure, this strength, strong convictions. You are reliable, you're responsible, you're loyal. One more breath. Cactus your arms, so just gently bring the shoulder blades towards one another. Lift the chest. Tummy still draws in to prevent the lower back overarching. Opening out through the chest, the shoulders, the heart and lungs. One more breath here. Lovely. Straighten the front legs, straighten the arms, moving into warrior two. So back toes point out towards the side of the mat as you bring the arms down level with the shoulders. And then heel toe that front foot across the mat. So we bring the left heel in line with the right arch. And then lunge into your left leg. Lifting up through the pelvic floor. Shoulders relaxed. Breathing nice and deep. That back arm ideally wants to be level with the shoulder. But of course, if you have any shoulder injuries, you can always place that back hand on your hip. Or just rest it for a couple of breaths and then lift it back up again. Slowly begin to strengthen these deltoid muscles, the muscles that are connected over the top of your arms, that connects the arm onto your collarbone, onto your shoulders. Come on, we can do this. Just another couple of breaths. Feel the beautiful support of the ground, the earth beneath you. One more breath. Lovely. Straighten that front leg. Trikonasana triangle pose. Shift the ribs forward. Lower the left hand onto your left shin, a block or the floor, and let the right arm lift up to the sky. Now root down through both feet. Then lengthen out along the spine. Again, imagine you're doing this against the wall and your upper back and the back of your head are touching the wall. Try and have the lightest touch you can on your left hand. So don't sink the weight onto your left leg or block. Try and have a very light touch on your left hand. Just take another couple of slow, deep breaths. And then bring the right hand onto the right hip, moving into our half moon. Bend the left knee deeply. Bring the left hand onto the floor. And then hop up onto that left leg as you let that right leg just float up. Flexing the right toes back towards you. So the right toes and the right knee point out to the side. If you wish, lift the right arm up towards the sky. Very light touch on your left hand once again. Direct some energy up through the right arm. One more full breath in and out. Standing splits. So right hand comes down onto the ground. Square your hips up so that your hips and your right toes now face the earth. And then lift that right leg up as high as you can. And again, you can walk the hands back a little bit if you wish as you lift that right leg up and spread through the right toes. Now, if you want to, you can hold the left hand, holds the back of the left calf if you want to. One more breath. And then lower the right foot alongside the left. Coming into your Uttanasana forward fold. And then rising up to mountain pose, pushing through the feet, engage your belly. Come find Tadasana, mountain pose. Rolling the shoulders down your back. Shift the weight onto the left leg and then lift the right knee up in front of you. Just hold the right knee with the hands. And you can either stay here just holding the knee or coming into your Shiva's pose again by stretching the right arm back, left arm forwards and lift the right toes up. Stand nice and tall on your supporting leg. Keep breathing. Well done, well done. One more breath. And then bring the right hand or right arm forward again and step that right foot back to the end of the mat for a slightly shorter stance. Back toes pointing out to 2 o'clock. Square your hips up, preparing for revolved triangle again. The back toes pointing to 2, hips pointing forward. Take a deep breath in as you lengthen up through the spine. Exhale, fold down over your leg and bring the right hand either onto the floor on the inside of your left foot or the outside edge of the left foot if you wanted to go slightly deeper. Draw your left hip back and begin to roll the left shoulder on top of the right. And then lift the left arm up to the sky. Left shoulder draws back. So you can look down to the floor if that feels more comfortable for you. Rotating from the base of your rib cage once more. One more slow deep breath, well done. And then lower the left hand down to the floor. Step the right foot forwards. Finding Uttanasana forward fold. Okay, heel toe your feet out a little wider, coming into Malasana, yogic squat. So the heels are in, the toes are out, and then lower your seat down towards the ground. Now, if this is too much for your knees or your hips, please immediately just come onto your seat and find cobbler's pose, soles of feet together. But if you're okay up in Malasana, this is the classic kind of earthing posture. And if your heels are up off the floor, try first of all by taking the feet a little wider, see if the heels come down. And if that doesn't work, again, you could use a block underneath your heels, or even just roll the side of your mat up and just give a little bit of a support underneath the heels. Okay, Malasana. Arms on the inside of the knees, palms in front of the chest. And if you're in Baddha Konasana, have the soles of the feet together, let the knees drop out and bring your hands into prayer pose. Now again, engaging through the pelvic floor if you're in Malasana. This is a lot of pressure going down onto the pelvic floor, so scoop up through the pelvic floor to give some support. Keep the back nice and flat, looking straight ahead. One more breath. Okay, everyone, let's lower the seat carefully down to the floor if you are up in Malasana, so carefully lower down. And then we're going to stretch the right leg down along the mat, or along the floor, and bring the left foot onto the inside edge of your right leg. Coming into head to knee pose. Very grounding posture. So inhale, lengthen up. And then exhale, just slide and walk the hands down beside your leg. Drop the gaze toward your ankle or your shin. And just let that left knee drop out to the sides. But have a little bit of weight on your right hip here. But again, think about equal distribution of weight on the left and right side of your body. Close your eyes. And just let gravity take hold of your torso as you begin to slowly get a little closer to that right leg, just sinking down so gravity is taking hold of you. Just another couple of slow breaths. This is such a good hip opener. You can feel that lovely space coming into your lower back, just around your sacrum, as well as, of course, into the left ball and socket joint of the hip itself. Okay, slowly walk the hands back up towards you. Let's do the same on the other side. So left leg straight, right foot in. You can have the right foot either on the inside of the thigh or inside of the calf, wherever you feel good. And then hands either side of the left leg, lift up once again through the spine as you take a breath in. And then exhale, walk, slide the hands either side of the left leg and come and find head to knee pose on this side. So a little bit of weight on both hip bones. And I find it helps here if I just lift my belly button up towards my ribs. I just find that helps keep my lower back nice and long. Letting gravity take hold of you once again. Take another few breaths. Go gentle, gentle. Okay, slowly walk the hands back up towards you. And just before we come down onto our spines, I just want to say to you that if ever any of these postures, if ever your body feels like it needs to hold it a little longer, like it feels as if it's quite therapeutic and healing, like your body needs it, just make a little mental note of what that posture was and come back and do it a little later after class. Our body always knows what it needs, and sometimes we ignore it. So come down onto your backs. We are the penultimate pose now, so we're nearly almost finished. So connecting again with the earth, bringing our spine and the back of our hips, our shoulders, back of the head and our feet in contact with the earth again. Feel that beautiful support of the ground beneath you. Thank the earth for always being there. Every day it shows up. For everything the earth does for us. Let's gently draw the knees over your belly. And let's bring the arms into cactus arms. Oh, actually, sorry, I forgot. Sorry, lower your feet back down again. My apologies. Just lift your hips up just a little bit and then shift the hips over to the right, just a couple of inches. And then lower your hips down. So your hips are sort of switched over to the right a little bit, and then lift the knees over the belly. Now take a breath in, and as you exhale, lower the feet and knees to your left. Now again, if the legs don't find the ground, you can always bring a block underneath the knees, but we're just going to have a little reclined twist here. So we're going to try and keep that right shoulder and arm as close to the floor as you can. So bring some weight, some heavy weight into your right shoulder, your right arm. And again, gradually as your body starts to soften and all of the tissues inside of you begin to lengthen, you'll start to notice that your knees start to fall together. Close the eyes here. Thinking of our planet Earth, our home. Everything is so giving. Giving from the oceans, from the ground, the sun, the trees. This is our home. And it gives us not just a lot of nutrients and food for us and air that we breathe, but it gives us that sense of grounding, that sense of
stability and strength, of safety, security. All right, one more breath here. And then you might need to just lift the right knee up first, and then the left knee up. And then place both feet on the ground. Keep the arms where they are, but place the feet on the floor, and then just shift the hips over to the left, and then lower the hips down again. Knees back up over the belly, and then drop your knees to the right. Again, if you need a little block underneath the knees, then just place that prop there. This time, a little bit of weight coming down through the left shoulder, left arm. Close the eyes if you wish. And just allow your whole body to relax. Just take another couple of breaths. And then very slowly lift the left leg back up, and then lift the right leg back up. Place the feet down on the ground. Square your hips up so your hips are back in the center again, and then stretch the legs out along the floor. We're going to find Shavasana. So this time arms are down alongside us, palms turned up, and the arms are away from the sides of the body. Have the legs apart, and then let your toes just drop out to the outer edges of your mat. Close your eyes once more. And feel as if your skin and your muscles are just falling away from the bones. Now stay here as long as you wish, as long as you have time for. Whilst you are relaxing and resting in Shavasana, and then I invite you to stay there as long as you can. I'm just going to sit back up, but please stay down on the ground. I just want to sit back up and thank you for joining me again today. I really appreciate that. I'd love to know what you think or feel of the earth practice. I know it's quite challenging, but maybe drop me a little note, let me know how you got on, and if you have any questions. And until next time, thank you so much, and I wish you peace in your hearts, I wish you peace in your mind, and I wish you peace in your bodies always. Om Shanti, friends. Namaste.